Alright, welcome back to Dinopedia, entry number 42, this is Stegosaurus. Remember to like if you like, and subscribe down below for more videos. So of course, the schedule as always is to look at the Ark Survival Ascended Stegosaurus, tips and tricks with the Stegosaurus, potential add-ons and updates for Ark Survival as a game, and reworking for my new game, Dino World. Let's get into it. So the Stegosaurus, as pictured here in Ark Survival Ascended, is in the Kingdom Animalia and group Reptilian, because it's a lizard. Lizards are animals, dinosaurs are lizards, and ancestral lizards are reptiles. And description is a battle tail, because it has a spiked tail. Traits in the game, it's passive unless provoked. They're herding animals, so watch out when you're hunting, because if you attack a herbivore near them, they will come to its aid, even if it's a parasaur, Gallimimus, trike, Lysistrurus, Moschops, and basically any herbivore. So be wary about that. Stegosaurus. No, I don't know why that's like that. Alright, so the stat block for the Stegosaurus is 650 health, stamina 300, oxygen 150, food and water 6,000 each, weight 500, melee 42, walking speed 1.7 meters per second, swimming speed 3 meters per second with a total of 500. So pretty tanky beast for herbivore. Similar stats to the trike as per usual. So of course, tips and tricks for the Stego in Ark Survival. Obviously, it has 3 plate modes. So it's in 3 different modes that you can use to buff any number of stats that you think will help you in combat. So first is hardened plate mode. It gives a 50% damage reduction. So if you are attacked by an attack that deals 20 damage, you only take 10. It also doubles the Stego's health, so it's more tanky, and has a ×2 wood collection buff. So more of a defensive mode for the Stego. Then there's heavy. There's a slowness effect given to all your attacks. So let's say you attack a dino, now they have a slowness effect, and you have a ×2 thatch collection buff. So not kind of like defense, but not really, kind of like normal mode. It's pretty much the normal mode. You can either go to hardened or sharpened, but heavy is the normal mode that you're at. And then there's sharpened, which has armor penetration on your attacks and a ×2 berry collection buff. So you have the defensive mode with hardened, normal mode with heavy, and offensive mode with sharpened. Then some tricks, of course, if you have Genesis in the lunar biomes, you have Lunar Harvester. Using its sharpened plate mode, so offensive mode, it can harvest plant nodes with extreme efficiency with ×2 collection buffs to plant nodes, so do be wary about that. If you're harvesting in the lunar biomes, it's good to have a Stego with you because it can harvest the plant nodes easily. And number 2, Genesis Bog. In the Genesis Bog biome, bloodsuckers are unable to dismount players from a Stego, so when you're going through a bog and you are wary about bloodsuckers dismounting you, just be on a Stego and they will not be able to dismount you, and that makes your life easier when traveling through the bog. Also, Aberration Tank. Since there's no Rexes on Aberration, players would choose the Stego over it as a basic tank soldier. In combination with its in combat, it has similar health stats when in hardened mode. So basically, it'll have double health, so similar health to the Rex, and 50% damage reduction, so even more resistance. Also Impaler, smaller creatures and players can be impaled on their tail during an attack, leaving them trapped and bleeding on the tail, so do be wary about that when going against a Stego alone. So of course, the potential add-ons I'd like to see added to the game. First, we have pack spawns, extra pack spawns added to the game. Family is two Stegos, a male and a female, who will eventually breed a baby. And then a pack spawn, which is 3 Stegos spawning at once. Since they are herding dinosaurs, it makes sense that they would spawn in a herd. That gets us to herding formation. When there's a baby, the adults will protect it, not leaving it alone. So basically, if there's a baby Stegosaurus, if you're trying to kidnap it, raise it as your own, good luck, because the baby will be protected by all the adults nearby and in its own pack. So the Ark Survival Evolved Stego versus the Jurassic World Stego. I do like the Stego from Ark better. I just think it looks more intimidating and more threatening. But the Jurassic World one is nothing to shout out either because its plates are unique, its face is unique, and it does have a more more dignified look. As the face looks more stoic and more impressive, this one kind of looks kind of weird and kind of wonky. But I do think the Ark Stego in general has better plates and overall better body proportions than the Jurassic World one does. Looking at the Ark Survival one and the Dino World one, similar. I do think the Dino World one we have better plates. Our plates are more curved instead of just spiked upwards, but our face is kind of weird. Our body proportions are kind of weird compared to the Ark Stego, which looks more natural. So the Ark one does take the cake in this competition of looks. So the Stego and Dino World, of course, the name is shortened. In Ark it's called the Stegosaurus, in Dino World it's called the Stego only, and there's two types of Stegos. There's the normal Stego, which is the wild and tame dino variant, and then the mutated Stego, which is the product of two tame Stegosauruses mating, breeding, and egg laying, plus a gene computer to generate mutations on the baby. So of course, Stegos are animals, so Kingdom Animalia makes sense, and of course their groups. Their group is reptilian because dinosaurs are ancestral lizards. Class is Battle Dome because it has spikes on its back, so it's more of a battle dome, but it's in the family of spiked tails, which includes the Hesperosaurus and Kentrosaurus, which we already talked about. So of course the Dino World stats compared to Ark stats, not much has changed. Oxygen is 200 instead of 150, weight is 600 instead of 500, base melee damage is 45 instead of 42, walking speed is 2 meters per second instead of 1.7 meters per second, and torpor is 600 instead of 500, with a fortitude of 2. Some additional traits, obviously we have the family pack spawns and the herding formation, but we also have the additional plate movements. These are different than the Ark ones, so I did want to talk about them. There's convergence, divergence, and transform, also known as defensive, offensive, and harvesting mode. So convergence is defensive mode for the plate movements. It doubles the Stegosaurus health. The plates shield the rider, so the rider does not take any damage from any oncoming attacks, and there is a knockback effect to its tail. So its tail attack knocks back creatures that it hits with it. It defends the player that's riding it, and also has a ×2 health buff. Then we have divergence, which is the offensive mode for the plate movement. ×2 damage, so 90 base damage instead of 45. Armor piercing, so it pierces through armor, so armor doesn't really do anything when up against a divergence Stegosaur. And it has an extra attack called Tailspin, which is where instead of tail whipping, it spins around, hitting everything around it, instead of just in its tail movement. So pretty effective for offensive mode. Also Transform. Transform is the final thing, it's harvesting mode. ×2 collection bonus for all resources harvested. It also has a Thorns effect, where nearby dinosaurs that come too close to it will be pricked by its spiky plates and be dealt a Thorns attack effect for getting too close. Stego also has a combat ability called Charge Tail. Charge ability followed up by a powerful tail whack with a 30-second cooldown. So basically just a charge ability that allows it to charge and have it whip up a powerful tail whack as well. And the final thing we're going to talk about is Dino World spawns for the main map of Europa. So of course spawn rates are color-coded as per usual. Blue is guaranteed, green very likely to spawn, yellow few likely to spawn, orange for rare to spawn, red for very rare to spawn, and purple for carcasses spawn. So of course there are various biomes that you can find the Stego. If you want to find few to likely of them, the Central Plains area in the center of the map here, but also on Herbivore Island, which of course only has herbivores. You can also rarely find them in the jungles of the northern jungle and eastern jungle, and you can very rarely find them spawning in the Highlands area in the northeast part of the map. So they can spawn in various locations, but most likely you're going to find them in the Central Plains and Herbivore Island. And of course that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it. Comment down below your thoughts. Let me know down what you think. Everyone have a blessed day as usual. And of course, as always, toodaloo!